Hello, this video is going to show the integration between the LDRA tool suite and Siemens Polarion requirements. Now, the starting point is of course Siemens Polarion requirements, and inside here I've created a simple project called the Safe Utilities, and inside there I've got a single system level requirement. I can expand that and we can see it traces down to 4 high-level requirements, and we can trace the high-level requirements down to some low-level requirements. And in order to be able to verify these low-level requirements, I've got some low-level tests, and we can also see that these are currently not verified. So what I'd like to be able to do is to import these requirements, verify them using the LDRA tool suite, and then feed the status back into Polarion requirements. Now this is LDRA TB Manager, and what I've done is I've pre-configured the project to say I've got a number of different documents here, and we can see we have the low-level tests of verifying the low-level requirements, which will trace to high-level requirements, which trace all the way to the system-level requirements, and we also have high-level tests tracing or verifying the high-level requirements. So let's start by bringing in our system-level requirements. So in this particular case, I'm going to go and import from Polarion. So the first thing I'm going to do is to check, can I actually connect to Polarion? So I need to enter my password, and let's check the connection. So that's just doing that, and that's good. Right, so now I should be able to go and load the projects that I have inside Polarion. And the project I'm interested in is this Safe Utilities. And now I've set up a query here, and I'm going to basically bring in all the requirements of type system level. So it should just find one requirement. There we can see we have the requirement. We can see that I've mapped the various fields inside Polarion to fields inside TB Manager. So let's go and import that one requirement. Okay, so now we have this one system level requirement. Let's switch to this particular view, and let's drag that requirement and drop it into this view. So now I want to bring in the next level. So these are the high level requirements. So once again, I'm going to go and import from Polarion. Let's reload the projects. And I'm going to select the Safe Utilities project. And this time I'm going to import the requirements of type high level. So let's go and perform that. This should find 4 high-level requirements, tracing to the system-level requirement. Let's go and import these. Okay, there are the 4 high-level requirements, and now we can see we're seeing or viewing the traceability. Well, let's bring in the next level, which are the low-level requirements. So once again, we're going to go and load the projects. And this time, I'm going to go and select the requirements of type low-level. This should find 10 low-level requirements. Again, we've got the traceability to the high-level requirements, and we've got some additional fields here. So in this particular case, I'm actually going to bring in the name of the function that needs to be generated for this particular low-level requirement. So let's go and import this. That's now found these 10 requirements. And once again, we're now starting to see this traceability between our requirements. Now, what about the source code? Well, I've already analyzed that. I've got a project I created using IR for an ARM device, and I've analyzed it, and we can see we have a number of functions. So what I'm going to do is simply to manually map these functions by dragging and dropping. Alternatively, I have a Python script that could automate this, but there's only 10 in this particular case, so it's very easy just to sort of drag them and drop them like this. So just a couple more that I need to do. Okay, and this one goes to there, and then the final 2, safe compress and safe uncompress. So those are now mapped. Let's go back to our relationships view, and I can say, well, okay, why is this function here? And we can trace all the way up to our system level requirement. If I was to click on a high level requirement, we can trace all the way back down to the source code. If I was to click in here, I could add all the procedures, And in this particular case, we can see we have one procedure that is not mapped to any low-level requirement. So effectively, we have additional functionality, and we need to basically map that to another low-level requirement. If I was to highlight all the low-level requirements, we can see more importantly, we have some missing functionality. Right, now let's go and bring in the test cases. So once again, I'm going to go into this view over here, and I'm going to bring in the low-level tests. So here, let's go import these from Polarion. Once again, I will load the projects. Okay, and once again, we're going to select this project, and this time I want to bring in tests. So this time I want the test type equal to unit test. So this should find 10 low-level tests. And once again, let's go and import these. And what we should find is it's also brought in the name of the test case file that needs to be generated. So let's go and import these. And there we can see we have the 10 low-level tests. And if I expand here, we can see in this particular case, this low-level test is verifying this low-level requirement. And we have a test case file, and I could effectively simply go and regress that. So in this particular case, this is now going to execute it on my ARM target that I've got connected to my laptop at the moment. So it's just doing a bit of initialization there. It's now downloading to the target. It's executed it. I've got the results back from the target, and hopefully we'll find this particular test case has passed, in which case we're going to end up with a requirement that's been verified. So now we can see we have this low-level requirement that's been verified. We have the green dot. So at this point, I could say, okay, well, let's go and update the status inside of Polarion. So let's go and export to Polarion, and we'll export all the requirements. The only one I've modified is 206, but we'll export all of them. And the first thing I need to do is to decide, well, what do I want to update inside Polarion? In this particular case, the only thing I want to update is this custom field verification status. I'm going to set that to right. And now let's go and start the export. And this is going to take a little bit of time as it connects to Siemens Polarion. And then it's going to export it, and we should see that the only requirement that's changed is this one here, that is the 206. So once again, just need to wait a little bit of time for that to complete. Okay, and there we can see this has been updated. So let's close this down. Let's go back into Siemens Polarion, and let's do a refresh. And what we should be able to see is we now have this low-level requirement here, 206, that's been verified. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a quick overview of how we can integrate the LDRA tool suite with Siemens Polarion requirements. And if you'd like more information, then please don't hesitate to contact us at LDRA. Thank you.